Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Chelsea, and we have an ambitious TBR. It is September. It is my birthday month. I've got a lot of books that I want to read. It's also the magical readathon, so I am taking part in that. I am trying to become a demonologist. I did not complete all of the books for the spring equinox, but we're not really going to talk. Well, we are going to talk about that a little bit actually. But I'm excited. It's going to be fun. And I'm looking forward to telling you which books I want to read and then come back at the end of the month and see which ones I actually managed to read. Not only am I trying to complete my TBR for the Magical Readathon, I have got a buddy read, I have got a book club that I have just joined that I am yet to read anything from, and also I have an arc that I want to try and fit into this month. But we're not going to talk about the arc because I don't actually think I'm going to fit it in this month. I think I'm going to leave that and have it at the start of October because it doesn't come out until the 17th of October. And for some reason I've made September the busiest month I possibly could. So, I have my phone here with all of my prompts, as always, for Magical Readathon. Now, for the second half, we have got to get certain grades. We've got to complete certain exams. So you either have to do one exam per class, or 2 or 3, depending on the grade that you need. So I've got it all written down because otherwise I would not know what is up or down. So the very first course that I need to do is Elemental Studies, and I only need to complete one exam in this, and the prompt is Gust of Longing, your favourite scent in title, author or name. I struggled so much with some of these prompts this year. It is bonkers, especially coming off of TBR Quest, which is very open, very do whatever you want and stretch the prompts. These were quite narrow for some of these prompts, and I am already going to make my life very difficult with this prompt. So in order to actually complete the book that I've chosen for this, I actually have to finish another one first. This is Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. I am halfway through. This will not count for this readathon at all. But, like I said, I really struggled with the scent, and I thought, well, I really do like the smell of storms. So I am putting The Wall of Storms, which is the second book in this quartet, onto this TBR. This is an over 800 plus page book. This is already 1,000 pages plus by themselves in order to complete one prompt. I'm in trouble. But we're going to try and do it anyways. I am actually enjoying the first book. This was a choice for the It's All About Fantasy Read-Along that I host with the lovely Lisa. But unfortunately she did not get on with the first book. I want to continue it, and I feel like this is the push I need in order to finish this and actually carry on with the series. I wanted to finish this series this year. I do not think that's going to be an option, if I'm completely honest, because these books are big. But we're going to see what we can do. So there's the first prompt, and it's already looking tough. Then my next course is Spells and Incantations, so I have to complete 2 exams in this one, with the first one being Charm Dancing, a 5-star prediction. And luckily I've actually managed to fit in a book that I need to read this month, and that is Legacy of Light by Matthew Ward. The live show for this is going to be at some point this month, so keep an eye out. We will announce when it is. It's going to be on my channel. This is the 3rd and final book in the Legacy trilogy. I gave book 1 4 stars, book 5 5 stars, so I'm hoping that the finale of this whole series is going to be a 5-star for me. I love this. I find it so difficult to describe though, because it is filled with so many points of view, so much politicking, so many intricate backstabbing moments, and just a whole lot of action and stuff. So I feel like this is a really difficult one to recommend. But if any of those words kind of sound like up your street, you should 100% check this series out. We have done a live show as well for the first book over on Lisa's channel. So if you want to get more of a feel for spoilers, and you've read the first book and the second book, because we bounce between the 2, go and check that out. But I highly recommend the series. I am really enjoying this, so 5-star prediction. And then for my second exam, it is Spell Memory Clip, a book shown in any G video, so any book that G has ever shown. And I have two options for this because I'm not sure what mood I'm kind of going to be in. I want to give myself a little bit of wiggle room, but not a lot. So the first one is one that I've been talking about for ages with like my friends and stuff, and that's Crimson Moth. I have seen this around a lot. I've seen Becca really liked it. I know there is fantasy romance in it, and I know I'm not really a romancy person, but I want to give this a go and see if I enjoy it. I think our main character is like a witch, and she had to give up her grandmother, unfortunately, in order to like save herself. And then she spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who rescues her kind from being purged. And she ends up courting the handsome Gideon Sharp, who is a witch hunter. So of course, it's kind of, the vibes it's giving is kind of Serpent and Dove when that came out. I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard some people say that it's like a not great version of that, but we'll see. We'll see. I've also heard glowing reviews, so we'll see if I like that one. Or I might pick up The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson, which is a YA mystery thriller. And this is following I don't know what our main character is actually called, Belle, and her mother disappeared years ago, and one day she just reappears. And they don't know why, and there is a documentary being filmed as she reappears, I think. So this is the signed edition, signed special first edition that I got from Waterstones. Very excited to give this a go. So it'll be one or the other, I think, of these, unless G comes up with a new video and she's got more recommendations, in which case I might change my mind. I am letting myself kind of change my mind as I go if I need to. I would love to stick to this list, but as you will see, there are quite a few pages in this list, so we'll see how it goes. Next is Conjuration, and this was so difficult because the prompt was conjure bats, bat on the cover. So difficult. Like, it's really annoying as well, because as I'm literally sat here, this third book by James Islington, this is bats. Right, there are bats on this cover, but I cannot read these two books. Maybe if that's all I did. But yeah, I cannot just... I can't. So, that's out. I could read The Book of Witches, which is an anthology, but hopefully the one I will get to is this indie book, which is The Fear of Moncroy by Brian Asher. This is vampires, I believe. So, after a mission against the Royal Vampiric Court goes horribly wrong, all of the Waywards are slaughtered except one. Davion, the last surviving member, must consume potions to mask himself and hide amongst the very people who killed his brethren. After a decade of living this double life, Davion has resigned himself to his new purgatory. But all will not remain calm for him or the court. An unknown swordsman arrives, and after killing several royal vampires, rumour spreads that he's searching for anyone still belonging to the Wayward Order. Davion decides he must track down this mysterious swordsman, but will finding him mean freedom or his own demise. So it's also vampiric, so that's pretty cool for this time of year. Obviously we're getting into autumn, fall, whatever you want to call it. Bats and vampires very much fit that theme. And then my final subject, I need to complete, funnily enough, all 3 exams because it's demonology. The first one is The Unfamiliars, a person who doesn't read for fun picks your book, and I got Jack to do this. I'll insert the clip here so you can see him trying to pick a book for me.
Right,
me.
You want me to pick a book?
Yeah.
The thing is I'll pick a book and you'll say you've read it.
Well, I'll tell you if I've read it. That's fine. I actually haven't read a lot of these books, that is kind of the problem, but the ones that you're gravitating towards I kind of have.
Do you put books on the front on your double stack shelves? Do you put the ones that you've read at the back or the front?
Well, the only shelf that's actually properly double stacked is down there, which we're not.
I'm looking at a double stack shelf here.
No.
1, 2.
Yeah, so I've
double stacked.
not actually organised the shelves. That's kind of the problem.
What is this book that's backwards?
Have you
read it?
I don't know.
Is it a first in a series?
Yes. Is that your
Do you want me
pick?
to pick that one? I had it. Let's see.
No, it's not whether I would like.
It's got pretty edges.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's not whether I want you to pick it. It's whether you want me to read it. Is that your pick? That's your pick. Oakley dokley. Thanks, Jack.
You're more than welcome. I could have picked June.
You could have picked you. I'm glad you didn't.
What's the biggest book you own?
Probably Of War and Ruin.
What Priory of the Orange Tree?
Oh, Priory of the Orange Tree. No, I think
No,
Of
War and Ruin is bigger, isn't it?
I think that's like closer to 1,000 pages than Priory is.
Okay. What's the biggest book you own that you haven't read yet?
Of War and Ruin.
Have you read Priory of the Orange Tree?
I have read Priory. I have
okay.
not read A Day of Fall and Night, but I've read Priory.
What about Age of God Eater? That's pretty chunky.
Oh, I have not read God Eater. That one. No, I have not. That is the new Rob J. Hayes book.
How new?
Very new. Like his newest release that I got on Kickstarter.
It's so chunky. It's so black. I might change my pick.
You might change your pick.
I change my pick. 747.
You can change your pick to God Eater if you want.
That's not the first book.
That it is the first book.
That is the first book.
Yeah, so they're all the first book in 3 trilogies that he's released all at the same time.
Have you got the first book in all 3 trilogies and no other?
Yeah, because that's how he's releasing them.
Oh,
So
sorry.
next year,
I get
in
you.
theory, if he releases books,
Yeah.
which I think they're planned for one every year, but I can't remember, it'll be all the book 2s in all of the trilogies.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he's a weapon. I don't know how he does that. It's the same way I don't understand how Brandon Sanderson writes as fast as Brandon Sanderson does, but, you know.
Whoa.
Are we potentially changing our mind?
No, I've picked. And I'm just winding you up about giant, scary books.
You can pick a giant scary book.
No, I've picked mine.
Okay. You don't look sure.
I was about to actually read the blurb and see what it's about, but I was like, nah, you'll have fun.
And after much deliberating, and I did actually think he was going to change his mind in the end, he did end up picking the Iron... It's not even the... He did end up picking Iron Widow by Xiran J. Zhao. I'm really sorry if I'm butchering that. This was an Illumicrate book way back when. So I am really glad actually that he's picked this, because this has been on my shelves for at least 3 to 4 years. I don't know how long. This was 2021, I want to say it was released. Yep, so 3 years now. This was an Illumicrate special edition, very pretty. Looking forward to giving this a go. Handmaid's Tale meets Pacific Rim in this dazzling blend of Chinese history and mecha science fiction. So it sounds interesting. I'm hoping because it's more, I think it's more YA, that it's going to be pretty easy to read, which will be good because I've got a lot of big chunky fantasy books on this TBR which are going to be very serious, quite tough to get through. So I think this will be a nice change of pace. Thank you, Jack, for picking this and for being on my channel. Then we've got Demonic Possession, last book you bought or borrowed. So this is a borrowed. I own it, but I've actually recently borrowed Empire of the Damned from my library audibly, so I'm hoping to be reading that over the next week or so from as I'm filming this, because I go away with work and I do listen to a lot of audiobooks when I'm away with work. So I need to finish something else first before I can do that, but then I want to crack into this and see how I get on with the second book in this trilogy. I have seen as well that J. Kristoff has finally finished the 3rd book, which I am excited about. I don't know when we're going to get it though, that's the only problem, but we will finally have it. So yeah, I'm excited to get to this one. And then the final prompt is Demons of Old, one of the oldest books on your TBR. So I ummed and ahed about this for the longest time. I don't actually feel like there are many books on these shelves that are older than 4 years max. So I have just been, yeah, pottering about trying to figure out which book I wanted to read, and I've changed my mind multiple times, and I feel like this is one that I'm going to change my mind on again. But for this video I'm going to say it's going to be The Final Empire. I know I'm really not helping myself. This is another chunky one. I don't think as chunky as the others. It's like 600 pages, starts a whole new thing. But with Brandon Sanderson coming out with his newest book, is it Wind and Truth, at the end of the year, I kind of want to get into the Brandon Sanderson hype and see if it's something that I'm going to want to read. I own this whole trilogy, I own all the new releases, and the Reckoners trilogy as well, so I want to see if he is an author for me, because I own too many books at this point and have read none. Oh no, that's a lie, I've read one. I've read his sci-fi one, Skyward, I need to know if his fantasy is for me. So this is like a booktube darling. I see this all the time. I see so many people talking about it. So I want to finally join the hype and see if I can, you know, get on with this one as well. So that is that. That is all of the prompts for Magical TBR. Magical Readathon, I should say. But I have 2 more books, because of course I do. So these ones I really need to read. The first one is God Killer by Hannah Kanna, I want to say. This is for a in-person book club that I have recently joined with people that actually know Jack, my other half. This is following our main character Kissen, and she is a god killer, and then she finds a young girl with a god like bound to this young girl, so she needs to figure out how to kind of separate him from her. I am annoyed at myself because I feel like if I enjoy this, I'm never going to get a matching edition. I did have a quick look on eBay to see if I liked this, if I could get the sequel, and guys, the prices they're asking for the sequel of this book is ridiculous. If anyone has a special edition to this, I think this is like Illumicrate or Orilium, I'm not too sure which one, and they don't want the sequel, I will happily buy it off you. I just don't want to pay like £60–70 because I think that's bonkers for one book. But yes, hoping I'll like this, and I will be going to an in-person meeting if I can make it, which is also terrifying because I've never done that. And then the other one is the buddy read that I have with Kate every month. I have not been doing these well at all this year, but I am determined to get to this one. So this is Voyage of the Damned by Frances White. This is a very special, shiny edition. And this is a mystery, I want to say. 12 magical blessings, 12 days at sea, 1 chance to stop a killer and save the world. So there's going to be a mystery in there somewhere, obviously on the sea. And that's all I want to know. I don't really want to know much more going into this. I don't like knowing an awful lot about my mysteries when I go into them. So I need to not let her down, and I need to actually read this because I didn't read A Dark Shade of Magic that I was meant to read last month. And what else didn't I? I've read like 2 maximum of the books that we've chosen to buddy read. So I want to not do that this time. So there you go. There are the many books, big books, that I want to read in the month of September, which is also my birthday month. So yeah, about 2 weeks from when I'm filming this, it will be my birthday. And so what better way to treat myself than to give myself a massive TBR that I can possibly not even finish, because why not? But that is everything for this TBR. I hope you have enjoyed it. I will put G's announcement video down below for the autumn equinox if you want to take part. She also has all the information on her channel that explains this whole thing a lot better than I do, so make sure you check that out as well. But otherwise, that is everything for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. It supports me and my channel. Leave me a comment down below of a book that you're planning to read in the month of September. Whether it's for Magical Readathon or not, let me know. I'd be really interested. If you want to leave me an emoji instead, feel free to leave me any like magical emojis for the Magical Readathon. And if you want to see more of me, please consider subscribing down below and ring that notification bell to get notified every single time I upload new videos. I am trying to become more consistent, but you know, we can only go and plan so far, personally, with the way that my life has been recently. But otherwise, this will be the second video for this week, and hopefully there'll be many more to come. But otherwise, that is everything for today's video. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye!